Alexandra 1, Milton, Keynes 3. Let's jump into it. What a performance, what a win. First off, it was all us, and I honestly think if it wasn't for their goalkeeper, we would have won by a higher margin. If we beat the Tranmere Rovers this Saturday, we're promoted. And if we don't beat the Tranmere Rovers on Saturday, well, if Notts County and Salford City fail to win their next game against Colchester United and Bromley respectively, we're also promoted that way as well. So, it was a good day. Just 2 points off Bromley, we are back in the title race, and if Bromley do fail to beat Salford City on Thursday night, and we win on Saturday, we're top with one match to play. Suddenly it's ours to lose, so it's certainly turning into an exciting time in the season. The 3 goals that we scored against Crewe Alexandra, well, now we have now scored 4 more goals than in the 2021 and 2022 season under Liam Manning, where we agonisingly missed out on promotion. We scored as many goals as we scored in the 2007-2008 season under Paul Ince, where we won the league title and the EFL trophy. And we've actually scored just 1 less goal than we scored in the 2008-9 and 2023-2024 seasons, where we suffered a pair of heartbreak on both occasions, and just 2 less now than the 2011-2012 season, which also ended in a bit of heartbreak. So to bring a bit of sad times back. But the reason I wanted to bring this up is that we are now, with 2 games to go, we've scored the 5th highest amount of league goals that we've ever scored in a league campaign with 2 games left to go, and I just feel like the whole team deserves a huge well done for that, really. It wasn't a positive season last season, so to turn it around in the way that they have, the management team deserve a huge amount of credit for doing so. Shout out to our goal scorers, shout out to Curtis Nelson, Marvin Ekpateta and Alex Gilby, and to be honest, like I say, the whole team for their clinicality. Alex and Marvin, they've been excellent for us all season, and I would also say that Curtis, he's been our best January signing. I really would. I really do love all 3 players' work rates, and I love how well Marvin plays in the defence, and I also love how Curtis and Alex, they just help move the ball forward for the attacking players to, take over and score some goals. I just feel like those 3 really do deserve a good shout out for their performances this season. And it's also worth mentioning that Alex Gilby, after scoring yesterday, he's now moved up to 5th in the all-time highest goal scorers for Milton Keynes since we got renamed. We're seeing Alex score his 47th goal for the club now, and that's only 1 less than Dean Bodic, who's 4th with 48 goals, and actually just 3 shy of Kieran Agard with 50 goals. And I think that's really impressive for a player who's not even an out-and-out centre-forward striker. He's a midfielder, and he's coming up with a lot of goals. I think fair play to Alex. He's literally the perfect captain for us to have after Dean Lewington, and I think every game that he plays for us, he really has put in a good shift and effort. In all his 3 seasons in his second spell back with MK Dons, he's actually scored, in his first season back, 13 goals in 46 appearances, and this season now, as well as last season, he's scored 11 goals in 42 appearances. So it's clear that he's come back with more of a clinical goal-scoring touch, because in his first spell with us, not that he was ever a bad player by any means, absolutely the opposite, he only scored 3 goals in 23 League 1 appearances, 3 goals in 39 League 2 appearances, and then 5 goals in 30 appearances back in League 1. So it's clear and evident that we certainly have an improved Alex Gilby back in our squad since he joined 3 years ago. And like I say, he's the perfect person to replace Dean Lewington as captain. I really do think that. Seeing on the topic of shout-outs, I want to give one to Nathaniel Mendes-Lang. It was another solid performance since he's come back, and it was a really good assist for Marvin's goal as well. He's been like a new signing for us since he's come back, and it was nice to see somebody actually cross the ball successfully as well. We've been a bit devoid of that over the last few weeks, haven't we? So that was nice to see. And again, another player I thought played well was Joe Tomlinson. It hasn't been an easy season for Joe Tomlinson. He hasn't been first choice match starter as he has been in the last couple of seasons, but I thought he played well yesterday. I know he gave a free kick away towards the end to Crewe, which wasn't in a bad position for them, but that free kick wasn't too costly, and I think other than that, he did a really good job replacing John Mellish. And I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Would you say Joe Tomlinson is better than John Mellish? Should he have started more games? Is he a better option than John Mellish, or do we need to get John Mellish back into the starting 11, in your opinion? I'm just really want to hear you guys' views on this, really. It was a good performance, but at the same time, he hasn't been starting for a reason, so interesting to hear other people's perspectives. Liam Kelly again, I thought it was another solid performance from him. He's been a new player this season under Paul Warren. Ever since he's come into that number 6 role, he's definitely been... the difference has been night and day for Liam. Last season it didn't really work out for him as a number 10, but as a number 6, he just seems to run wherever he needs to for the team, and that's been really nice to see. It's just a new Liam Kelly, really. We seem to have got rid of the old one and got this new player in, and this is the Liam Kelly that we all wanted to see when he was signed under Mike Williamson. So another shout out for him. He's been one of my players of the season as Liam. And if I'm going on to the second half now, it was clear that Crewe, just like Bromley last week, to be fair, they were going to throw everything at us, but again, just like we did against Bromley, I do feel like we dealt with their pressure quite well. Craig, once again, he had to make some vital saves. He seemed to be having to do this every game this season, but again, he's been one of our best players, again, a nominee for me for Player of the Year, and he's a big reason as to why we will finally concede less than 66 goals for the first time in 4 seasons since the near promotion under Liam Manning. He's been here since 2023, but this is the first season in the 3 seasons he's been with us that he's actually been our full-on first choice number 1 goalkeeper for the full season. And look what happens when he is. We're in a better position, and I think it just goes to show that, with no disrespect to the goalkeepers who came in and took his place, that maybe we had the answer all along and we should have just kept Craig as number 1, because we would have been in a better position than the positions that we ended up in, certainly last season. That's just my opinion anyway. I know I'm always raving on about Craig and how good he is. But yeah, another good performance, and just want to give a little thank you as well to the referee, Zach Kennard Kettle. I hope I've said that right. The reason I want to bring him into this is that at 2-0 to Dons, it did look like Marvin Ekpateta did foul a Crewe player, and it did look like a penalty that should have been given to Crewe. So thanks, Zach, for not sending Marvin off. It's really appreciated, and I'm pleased we can rely on Marvin for our last couple of games of the season. I have a feeling that if that had been us wanting the penalty, that we wouldn't have been too happy, so a bit relieved about that. And yeah, while I would have liked to have kept a clean sheet, because it's now just 2 clean sheets in our last 11, and that, I'm not going to lie, that is something I'm not too pleased about, because if we are going to go up to League 1, which we look very odds on to do so, we can't keep conceding goals like this. It's going to be harder in League 1 than League 2, and we can't always rely on our outfield players to make sure it doesn't really matter, especially against tougher, higher quality opposition. But, saying that, as much as I would have liked to have kept a clean sheet, and as much as I would like 2 clean sheets to end the season with, I'm really, really pleased that we did not let Crewe score any more goals, and we kept them at bay, just like we did against Bromley. In the last couple of games, we seem to have found a way to do that again, and it's really pleasing to see. And just really hope that the 2 recent wins now will be just what we needed as we seek to get promoted next week. What more momentum can you wish for after going for a tough spell as we did with 4 games without a win? I think our confidence is sky high, and I'm absolutely ready for next Saturday when we play Tranmere Rovers, and I'm really hoping we can beat them and get back up to League 1, which is what we've been waiting for the last 3 seasons. So hopefully it ends next week, and by the time I'm doing my next review, we're celebrating promotion back to League 1. Alright guys, that wraps it up. Thank you so much for watching. If anyone's still here at this point, it is incredibly appreciated. Believe you me, I really do mean that. And if you've liked what I've said, and you've agreed with what I've said and you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe and to share the video. It helps me out more than you'll ever know. And let's hope the Dons can continue from 2 morale boosting wins, and yeah, onwards and upwards really. Thanks so much for watching again. Up the Dons.